Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to Movie Couple Live. This is a show where we talk about the latest in movie news and pop culture. I'm Wendy.
I'm Dustin.
And happy Saturday, everybody. Happy Boba Fett. We get to talk about Boba Fett Day, and we also get to talk about Vox Machina today as well. Specifically, the Legend of Vox Machina.
Lots of spoilers, lots of exciting new show. This has been a good week for shows.
It really has. I absolutely agree with that. So, you guys, we first of all, of course, welcome to the show. We hope you're having an awesome Saturday. Gosh, I'm coughing. My throat's got you know how it feels grainy if you drink oat milk sometimes? There's or almond milk, like any sort of nut milk.
Oh, I have to admit, I have not ever experienced that.
So I'm trying to make I haven't gone to Starbucks a whole lot ever since the pandemic started. And it made me, it took the pandemic for me to realize, Wendy, you don't need the $6 latte when you can make it at home, especially now there's so much recipes on TikTok or Instagram or wherever you look. I think I could totally up the game if we got ourselves an espresso.
Yeah.
But that's later down the line because I'm having a hard time justifying how expensive they are, regardless of the fact that I would want one.
And it's also the fact our little tiny, really old Keurig is perfectly fine.
And we got it's the first generation where you don't have to have an actual Keurig official cup.
Yeah.
For it to, so you can use any sort of the other types that you want. Because I think the Keurig 2 was very specific. Please put it in an actual cup. It's I did put it in there. So yeah, we have I think 2014, 2015. That's how long we've had the Keurig, and it sometimes sounds like it's gonna die. But then we tap it a couple of times and it's fine.
That's the best way to work with technology. Just smack it a little bit.
Yeah, that is the best ways. But anyways, we were running a little late today and I want to thank you guys for being super understanding. We were planning to put Navi in grooming and daycare. And this specific daycare is very strict about the dogs being updated for their shots. So she got her little doggy influenza shot. First dose out of 2, and her Bordetella, which is a kennel cough shot. So all the pet parents out there, we see you, we hear you, and we hope you understand where we're coming from. But because without that, she doesn't. I mean, I don't think she can go to any daycare.
Nope, they need to have those shots. So fortunately, she's now all up to date and ready to go.
Who is this person in here? Get out.
Huh?
Get out. Get out.
It's weird. But the more and more we stream, the more and more those happen to pop up.
Yeah, don't click on them, guys. If you ever see questionable links, don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. So today on the show, we are talking not just episode 5 spoilers for the Book of Boba Fett, but we're also going to talk about some spoilers because I think I read one of the comments. I don't remember who said it, but they were almost done with episode 3 of The Legend of Vox Machina. So maybe we focus on episode 1 and 2.
Those are going to be the ones that we really do focus on.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Get
out.
Yikes.
They keep on popping up.
Get the fuck out.
Bots.
Oh, okay. I just finished episode 3 and can join in.
Woohoo!
Woo! So welcome fellow critters. If you're out there in the chat watching our live stream for the very first time. Bidet.
I can't wait until they actually get to that point in the show. Honestly, I was recently watching a couple little animated clips from the first season of campaign of Critical Role. And it just makes me go, oh, I can't wait for that moment. Oh, I hope they put that moment in. There
are certain moments I won't say, but there's a certain moment that I kind of know about because it was so popular. It was animated many a times in the Vox Machina one that I would love to see them.
I thought he'd never leave.
I think they will. Yeah, that. I think they will do that one because it's so.
But that probably won't happen. I don't think that happens until probably probably won't happen until season 2.
But it doesn't happen during the Briarwood arc.
I don't think it happens during the Briarwood arc. I actually am not 100% sure. I'd have to go back and find out exactly when that moment happens. But there's just so many awesome stories, so many moments that I just want to see. And it just makes me want to go back and watch all of these different animations from campaign 1.
Yeah.
And I can't remember exactly when Bidet happens. So I guess we'll find out if they'll
We'll
put
find
that in
out
since it's
soon.
such a critter staple.
And honestly, in 4 weeks, this season 1's already over because they're giving us 3 episodes per Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot to end the 3rd episode reaction with a is it Friday yet? Just to like totally borrow that from Matt. Matt's is it Thursday yet? But we'll do it for the next reaction. So welcome to anyone who is a new sub to the channel. We're so glad to have you. To Andy Garcia, to Polaris83, to Stephen Taylor, Bidet, Bidet. Or Rosenthal says it happens in the next arc, which would be the
the Chroma Conclave.
Conclave.
Today
it's late in the Chroma Conclave arc.
Yes.
So,
but honestly, I just want. I'm so excited to talk about these 3 episodes now. So yeah,
let's talk about them.
One more heads up: we are going to be spoiling and talking.
Put a thing up.
And just a warning for everyone: we are going to be talking about the Legend of Vox Machina, the 3 episodes that came out just this Friday. If you have not seen them, we will be talking spoilers. So go watch them and then come back
Prime
to the
Video
chat. On Prime Video. And honestly, a part of me is like, if we did not have Prime Video, I feel like we would have purchased it just for this show.
Yes.
And if you don't have Prime Video, I would highly recommend getting it just so you can watch this show. It is that good.
Here's the thing. There is some, and I feel like Vax would approve because she's kind of like, she's into haggling and bargains and barter and all that stuff. So we know that it's going to be really, if you don't, and I know money's tight for a lot of people right now. I completely get it. During the beginning of the pandemic, I was laid off and I was like, even though I knew we had money saved up, I immediately looked at the bank account and I was like, I don't have money.
What can we start cutting?
Yeah. And it's like, we would have been okay for a little bit anyways, because we have saved up. But like, the immediate freak out as an adult living in LA, which is very expensive, the freak out naturally happened because I was like, I don't have the continuous steady flow of paycheck anymore. What do I do? And then it reminded myself of that one time, probably the lowest point in my life. I was about 25, because I was pretty new. I had just moved to LA from Florida, and I had jobs, but it's restaurant jobs, so the money is still like, it's kind of iffy because tips, it's like sometimes people don't tip or they don't tip that well. So it's you get money, but it's still a gamble. So you really have to just essentials only. There's not a lot of, I want to get this and splurge on this. There was none of that. So at one point I looked at my bank account and I had $27 and some cents left in my bank account, and I didn't know what to do. I knew I wasn't going to be able to pay rent.
And you have a little bit of flashbacks to those.
I sat on the floor and I sat there and cried, and I said, "How am I going to do this? How am I going to survive? Am I literally about to go and live in my car?" So luckily, there are some really nice people that came through and were able to help out, and were very understanding of the situation. And I have since recovered from that and have paid people back. So surround yourself with good. I was very lucky in that situation where I had really trustworthy, understanding people in my life, regardless of being super new to LA. So the trick is, if you're okay with waiting for Amazon Prime, if you're okay with it, there's a 30-day trial.
Oh yeah. Wait until, well, this is the thing though. Okay. So one of the things that we really want to do, because I think Critical Role is really going, not Critical Role, the Legend of Vox Machina is going to help the fantasy genre go even more mainstream. Because what has happened so far, especially in Amazon Prime, Amazon Videos, Prime Video, thank you, is the fact that their biggest record for the most views of us, or hours viewed for a particular show, was actually recently beaten by the Wheel of Time. So if Vox Machina is able to beat that record, that means the top two shows are going to be adult fantasy shows, which is I feel like Vox Machina really can be kind of like what Deadpool was for the rated R comic book movie, what Lord of the Rings was for the big budget fantasy genre, what Pirates of the Caribbean was kind of for to bring these things to the mainstream. I really want everyone who can watch Vox Machina just pretty much on a loop. Even if you just have it on in the background somewhere, have it on. And plus, the first time you see it, you're going to want to watch it again. When Wendy and I first watched these episodes, I'm now going, I want to go back because there were so many moments that I was either cheering or laughing or crying so hard that I missed what the next line was. So I'm probably going to sit down today and watch one of the episodes over again.
Yeah.
Because
I did that already because I edited.
Yeah, you already got to see the episode multiple times.
Several times on a loop. And then me going, oh. So with that said, if you guys want to like some little money saving trick that I would put out there. Sorry, I just don't want to get distracted too far so I don't forget my point.
Go ahead.
Is there's about 4 weeks of episodes coming because they're dropping 3 every week and there's 12 episodes total. So if you sign up, if you don't use Prime at all and you're like, if you don't have Amazon or you don't want to use Amazon at all, and I know some regions don't even have that available, so I right now don't have a solution for that, unfortunately, because I don't know if you can use like VPN to kind of help get around that. I'm not sure, but if I was super tight with the money, but I really, really want to watch this, and the only way to do it is on Amazon Prime, I would sign up for the 30-day trial next Friday, and then because then you can have the 3 weeks left, so you can catch up on episodes 1 through 3, and then you can watch remaining, and then just make sure to make like alarms, reminders, whatever on your phone, your calendar, write it everywhere, post-it notes, tie a knot to your finger, and just be like, make sure you cancel, because then you charge, I think Amazon Prime is $75, right? I don't know about Prime Video. I know that. So
no, I think the membership is like
the
14,
membership is
14.
For the year. 75 for the year.
Oh, 75 for the year? Maybe. You know what? Honestly, I do have to double check those numbers.
That's what I'm thinking.
But anyways, all of these things to be able, if you're going to go through all of this hassle, you want to know that Vox Machina is an amazing show. Let's first dive into the very first.
Wait, we should go to the comments real quick.
Oh, yeah. The very
there's
first
a lot
episode.
of really
because
awesome
I want to talk about this first
comments.
episode and how everything.
No, the comments, not the episode.
Oh, I know, but I want to when we start diving into.
Got it. Sorry, there's just so much comments to filter, not to filter through, but to look through. But there is one specific a comment that just recently got put in. And I do want to address this. Willful Visions, thank you so much for your comment. No offense, none taken. Just curious, why are you doing a review of Vox Machina episodes 1 through 3 before your reaction to episode 3 is even out? I feel it would even made more sense to do it later. So here's the fun thing about editing and video production is we've had these reactions up. So Dustin and I, we don't just do reaction channel. I know our channel right now looks like is a bunch of reactions because there's not a lot of movies to review right now. But we started the channel for movie reviews and TV reviews. And we started to do more reactions because it was fun to make as well. And it helped get more eyes on the channel. So we try to do, both, even though right now there's not a lot of reviews. So we were actually able to get the press screener for the link for the first 6 episodes, which a lot of like film reviewers, film critics would get. So we actually have watched those episodes already. So those reactions were filmed a while ago because we've had the links for like 2 weeks prior to release or something like that.
We just also have to wait for the episodes to drop.
And also we can't talk about it prior to embargo. So yes, it is true that episode 3 reaction isn't up yet because I haven't finished editing, which I will hopefully get it done today because I wanted to get it up, but just like things like dogs and other things, life got in the way. But I can assure you that we have watch all 3 episodes. But if it's better for all of you guys, which totally makes sense, if you would like for us to just talk specifically about episodes 1 and 2, we can totally do that too. So sound off in the chat and just let me know. And like no offense taken, because I just wanted to clarify because it does sound like we're trying to review an episode that we haven't watched. but I promise you, we indeed watched it. It's the file's literally sitting on this very computer.
Yeah,
right
and it's
now.
just the fact that it does take like 5 hours sometimes.
Sometimes it takes me a long time.
to
Sometimes
be
the
able
ADD
to edit
kicks
it.
in, and I'm like, la la la, I'm gonna go play with the dog.
Yeah.
You know.
So I mean, I definitely want to talk about at least the first two
episodes,
because this was actually something that was interesting because the first 2 episodes
were stickers.
Oh yeah. Oh, here, I'll show you.
Sorry, I can't bring them up on StreamYard, but thank you so much to SJax30 for the
so
super.
much.
Oh my god, how
it's so cute. It's kind of doing
cute.
a Lion King thing, like with Navi. Thank you so much for the super chat. It's
for the sticker.
Okay, so we have a couple different prices on here too for Amazon Prime. Is $119 a year or $780.
Is that how much I'm getting charged a year?
Maybe.
Okay.
Or $8 a month, which actually $8 a month isn't that bad.
That's not terrible. That's not terrible. And a lot of, The Boys is on there, Invincible is on there, The Wheel of Time, The Legend of Vox Machina, and more. So if you are choosing to use Amazon and you want to get Prime, like there are, and for Prime Video, like there are a lot of really good shows on there. Okay, I'm sorry. I keep stopping you.
I'm just really hoping that the Vox Machina, the Legend of Vox Machina can really bring D&D into a viable entertainment source to where, because for the longest time, and anyone who tried to push a D&D themed idea just got shut down, even after Critical Role raised millions of dollars on a Kickstarter campaign. The only streaming platform that would even give them a single chance meeting was Amazon. Everyone else kind of poo-pooed their idea. They're like, oh, no one's gonna want to watch this. So the fact that this is knocking it out of the park, so far I've only heard of one bad review.
We won't say who.
And I'm pretty sure
let's not throw shade to other content creators on here.
Yeah.
We offend. Obviously, it's their opinion. Everybody's has a right to their opinion. Just want to put that out there. And don't put, if you know who it is, don't put their name in the chat either. Like, I don't want to drive hate towards anyone. That's not what I feel like Critical Role is about. It's not what critters would want to do. But everybody has their opinion. We don't really agree with this person's opinion, but nonetheless, at least they gave it a watch before they talked about it. At least there's that. And I think that's good. And hopefully I would like to see them continue to watch and really get into the story, because the arcs, some of these characters are so incredible. And I just know the bare kind of the surface stuff, really. So for full transparency, and we do say this in the beginning of our reaction videos, but we are both critters. One has been a critter from the beginning. One started during Mighty Nine. So Dustin have watched Vox Machina, the campaign, and then I jumped in when the Mighty Nine started. So while I know some of the stuff with Vox Machina, I don't know all the details, because he'll tell me some stuff, but not all the twists and turns and more spoilery stuff. So I can be super surprised while I watch The Legend of Vox Machina, and then after the series for season 1 is over, I want to dive into and start watching the campaign.
Yes. And I think, it's a really fun campaign. The first 2 episodes of the show is interesting, though, because all of this story actually takes place before they started streaming. So Vox, for those who don't know, because we do have a super chat.
Thank you so much. And also thank you, Hello What, for your super chat, saying that they're showing off their new lightsabers in Discord. Congrats on the lightsabers.
I'm looking at a picture of it right now in Discord. It looks sweet. It's a double-bladed. Not sure where did you get it from?
Dude, that's cool.
I want one. I want one.
Yeah. What is Vox Machina?
First, what is Vox Machina? So there is a group of individuals who worked at the time for Geek and Sundry, and they were playing an at-home game of actually Pathfinder First Edition, and they're like, hey, do you want to transfer from Pathfinder to D&D and do a live stream of a session? And at the time they were very hesitant to do so, because they're like, well, this is our own private game that we've been playing now for a while. But they were like, you know what, let's give it a try. And it just exploded. And they started getting huge success. The storyline was amazing. But the first 2 episodes, so they became very popular, Critical Role. Then they decided when they started to do campaign 2, they were like, hey, you know what? Let's do a Kickstarter because so many fans want to see our first campaign animated. Let's do something small. Let's maybe do like a one-off 30-minute one episode.
Yes.
And let's raise some money. But if we get this much money, we'll do more. And if we get more money, and they just blew.
The critters came through strong.
The
They were
critters
like,
came through
we
really
can
strong.
fund this, no problem, team.
And so they were able to fund an entire 12-episode season. Amazon picked them up and immediately greenlit season 2. So Amazon is paying for the second season. I'm hoping that Amazon won't get too involved. Just
yeah,
kinda,
I like how things are right now.
Yeah.
It's and hopefully they'll leave them alone, let them continue to do their own thing, because I like, if I were Amazon, I'd be like, you know what, you just keep doing what you're doing, we won't touch it. Stephen Taylor, thank you so much for the correction corner. They actually didn't work for Geek and Sundry. They were just friends with Felicia Day.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. That's actually a really good
voiced one of the characters in episode 2. We won't. Well, it's a spoiler, so we can talk about.
Yeah. And that's in episode 2, so we're able to talk about that one. But I have been, ever since the announcement of this, I have been drooling and gnawing at the bit, being they're making an animated series of it, kind of a thing. Because that's about exactly when I started I started a little bit before they made the announcement.
Yeah.
That Critical Role was going to be an animated series.
And it makes sense to turn it into an animated series because literally they sit at a table with other fellow nerdy ass voice actors who play Dungeons and Dragons.
We play Dungeons and Dragons.
And we say it with Travis. Well, we did anyways in do they still do it in campaign 3?
Yeah, they still kind of do.
I don't know why. I'm like, it seems so far away.
I know.
3. We're still catching up. I think we're only on episode 7, so we're trying to play catch up. So don't put spoilers in the campaign 3 if you're currently watching. But let's go ahead. So MJ Allied, I hope that answers your question on what Vox Machina is, where it's based on, and what has what the animated series is all about. And you can watch our reaction if you would like on the channel. But if you have Prime Video available for you, I would highly suggest giving it a watch. Episodes 1 through 3 is up right now, and then episodes 6, 7, and 8 will be up next Friday, and then all the Fridays following that until all 12 episodes are aired. So,
and apparently to Blade, according to Blade here, their first goal on the Kickstarter was $275,000, and then they blew past that with raising over $7 million.
I mean, I'm really not surprised. I'm really not surprised because the fans are passionate, and I think, to sit at a table every week to live stream a very private at-home game, because like private at-home games can be so sacred too. Yeah. If you play D&D or if you play Pathfinder, which I believe is actually how it started. Yeah. And then they kind of made the switch over to D&D, because I think some people were complaining that like, oh, but Percy has a gun. They don't have that class or race in the class in D&D, but they were able to home brew a lot of stuff, I think, between Matt Mercer and Taliesin to kind of make that work. And like, I love that they made it work, because I love Percy. I would love Percy so much if we weren't able to get No Mercy Percy.
And also, now here's another thing though. I want to know, for all of you critters out there, who is your favorite character? If you had to choose just one character, who would be your top favorite character in Vox Machina?
I think I know who yours is.
Oh, okay.
Vox Machina.
From the campaign. Now, the reason why I'm asking is because it's really hard for me to choose my favorite character. I would have to say, okay,
2 votes for Vax.
Should
we do a poll? Hold on a second. Let me do a poll. Hold on.
You can do a poll. That's right.
I don't know how many options can I add though.
I think you can add a whole bunch.
No, I can only add 4. Okay. Who is your fave Vox Machina character? I'm gonna put Vax and Vex in the same. Oh god, they're so different people though.
Yeah, true.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can do it. Vax.
Because we already have Vex.
Percy.
You know what? Honestly, I think I would have to lead my personal opinion towards Percy. Because
I can't put them all. I can only have 4 options.
That's so stupid.
Okay, fine. Vex and Vax will get put in together, even though they're literally not the same.
Yeah, well, that means they're going to get.
I'll put Pike and Grog in the same category because of their bond. And
I guess we'll have
that
to.
leaves out. Is Sam going to be a
Scanlan.
write-in?
Scanlan's hand.
Aw.
Okay, Navi, you're getting squirmy.
Okay.
Okay, so we can't really do it.
All right, we won't do a poll. Just write it in. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I thought that YouTube poll was going to give me 7 options, maybe 8, because I would have put Trinket in there too. But in any case, oh, you could do 2 polls.
Oh,
Could I? I already erased it. It's fine.
It's okay.
It's fine. Okay, let's go to the chat and see.
Everyone's able to
saying.
put in their own characters down in there. Anyways, I think that's a better way to do it.
Yes.
But honestly, Percy has so much amazing character development, especially the fact that they start this off with the Briarwood story arc, and I'm kind of glad that they gave like that quick little
Mine's a spoiler, says Willful Visions. Thank you so much. We will come back to that. We'll do the poll again, maybe next week, and or in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we'll do another poll and see if that spoiler is if they've caught up.
So I mean, and what is it called? That the first 2 episodes we're pretty much doing like, okay, we're going to do something from the previous. I mean, the before.
We're going to make you choose. I'm sorry.
No, it's tough.
It's tough.
I mean, maybe if you need to, top 3.
Okay, yeah, you can do top 3 if you'd like. Well, who are yours? Top 3.
Percy, Grog, and Scanlan.
Nice.
So I think those are my favorite 3.
For me, it's hard for me when Laura Bailey is involved in anything, and for me to not pick her sounds like a terrible idea. I just love her so much. I think
she
she's
is
incredible.
Really fun.
So Vax, and that means I get Trinket as just as like an honorary mention because they come together. They're like a package. I'll go with what I know of Percy so far. I'm really liking, so I'll say Percy, and I gotta.
I have to admit,
I kind of want to say Keyleth.
Keyleth is really fun
I think
too.
she's a fun character, and this is
dagger.
The Keyleth's this choice. I think it's because I'm still so new to like the Vox Machina campaign story itself, because I didn't watch the campaign, he did, but I do like Marisha a lot as a player. And from what I've seen in the animation so far, I'm really liking Keyleth, and I feel like we can see her character really go somewhere. So I look forward to that if that happens in the campaign. Again, I don't know. And that's what's so cool going into this, sort of being a critter but not really knowing Vox Machina, because I haven't watched that campaign. So with that said, episodes 1 and 2 is a story that it's kind of like a pre-stream story from what I can understand.
It happened all before they actually started streaming, and they had to change a lot of things. And honestly, there was someone who in one of our reactions had a really good criticism about it.
I meant Vex. God, I mix them up all the time.
Vax is the brother.
Yes,
so yeah, Vax is the brother, and Vex.
Vexalia.
It's Vaxeldon and Vexalia.
Vexalia. I should have just said the name. But when I shorten it, I mix them up. But when I see the full name, I like get it.
Yes.
Is that weird?
No. Makes perfect sense. I mean, it is just a huge running gag. Even if you watch the campaign, Matt switches them up all the time. All the characters switch their names all the time. And I love the fact that in the musical introduction that Scanlan does for the Taudori Council actually had that joke. What is it? It's hard to tell that, but we forget who's who.
Facts. Because they kind of sound, if you just say it without emphasizing the E or the A, they kind of sound similar too. Not to mention they are twins. So, but who is older? Vax?
Vax is technically, I think,
Liam's character is older.
Yes.
Okay.
Vax is the older one, and Vex, I think, Vexalia was born second.
Okay.
Because he does have that very protective. When you get more and more into the campaign, for Critical Role, Vax does some really dumb things to make sure that his sister is safe.
I mean, that's brother love right there.
Yep.
Yeah, it's all about family. So I think what's really cool about episodes 1 and 2 is that it's a story that not many people know. So, but and now they do, obviously, because it's been years since they've had that campaign, even though it's pre-stream. But the fact that we get to, as fans of the show, get to see it play out on screen. And for me, going in, not having an idea of who Krieg was, trying to figure out who has the connection with the dragon, or in fact, who is the dragon, and me 100% judging based on like how they drew the aesthetic of a specific character. And I'm like, it's Fitz because he looks evil. And then second episode, you know, when he was at the camp, he's like, there's a storm brewing. And I was like, wait, how would you know? Huh?
Yeah.
And I bet you'll survive too. So my decision started to shift, and I was like, I'm sure it's Krieg. And actually, if you watch back to episode 1, there are some things that he's the very subtle things that happen in conversation where you can kind of listen to that and say, he's saying it this way. His disposition is like this, but I bet you interiorly he's thinking, he's like, this band of fools. Yeah, send them. Oh, no problem.
Give another demonstration of why you need to send the entire
I'll do them away like I did the murder hobos.
Mm-hmm.
And I also love that in the episodes that they
love that the murder hobos.
The murder hobos murdered.
I love that.
Oh man. I love that we got little bits and pieces of Easter eggs from the Mighty Nine campaign as well, specifically when Vax and Pike went and visited Gilmore, which was so cool to see that character come to life. But they popped up a very specific book of Tuscan love.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and that was
I thought that
hilarious.
Was so funny. And I love the fact that Pike was like, oh.
Oscar. Captain Tusktooth.
And there's, I mean, even if you're not a critter,
mm-hmm.
and you are watching the show, they did an amazing job on introducing their personalities right off the bat, so you feel attached to them.
Yes.
And also, even if you don't get the what is that called? Private jokes, the inside
jokes, or the
even
Easter
if you
eggs.
don't, there's still funny moments, like that whole thing. Well, this is in episode 3, but when they're playing ball tag,
that was in the campaign.
That was in the campaign, and I love the fact that they kept that between Vax and Grog
for the fans, because
mm-hmm.
we sat there and watched them play through. Well, you guys did, I didn't. I will eventually, but I think that's nice that they have nods like that for the people who sat through, you know, every Thursday the 4 hours of gameplay, and that's why I'm really liking this. But I wanted to talk about that and I clicked it away. Thank you so much for your super chat. Who writes, in narrative telephone, Ashley called Grog Stonejaw.
And it's Strongjaw.
Strongjaw.
But if I'm not mistaken, his dad is called Stonejaw.
Oh.
And then they're like, wait, your dad's name is Stonejaw Strongjaw? Yeah. What's wrong with that?
Oh my God, Grog. Gotta love Travis.
And I love the way that Travis plays Grog. There's so many moments in the campaign to where he deliberately screws himself over, to where he's in a good position to negotiate, and then someone will try to play off on how dumb Grog is, and he goes with it. He's like, oh, I know this is going to kind of screw me over.
His intelligence is at what?
I think it's like an 8, so he gets like a -1 or a -2 to his intelligence roll.
Oh my gosh!
And the fact that he made that choice, and that is something that just comes through too in the show, is the fact that how well they all played off each other in the campaign, is how well they were able to be. They did the amazing improv technique of yes and.
Always.
So they
Travis would like to say it. Yes and, bitch. That was in campaign 2 at some point, but I love that. I was like, yes.
So I'm just so excited to see more and more of this, because for me, I'll get all the jokes and undertone. I love the fact that they are constantly randomly putting Matt Mercer's face
the NPCs
into the random NPCs, and it always seems like his character is somehow getting pissed on or dumped on or beat up by the player, by Vox Machina, just like in the campaign, kind of a thing.
Someone said, and I would love if they did this, and I don't know if Sam did this in campaign 1, but I know he did it a lot in campaign 2, that we saw, but I want to say it started in campaign 1. But how funny would it be if Vox Machina walked into like a random shop somewhere in a town, and one of the NPCs selling like wares, and is wearing a shirt with Scanlan's face on it, because Scanlan, aka Sam, would always wear shirts with Matt's face on it,
Mhm.
or vice versa, or they could put like, you know, like animated Matt's face on it. Like I think that'd be so meta and so funny for the fans.
If one time he just has like a picture of one of the guards.
Yes.
He's like, and it happens to be an animated Matt face.
Yes. And a lot of you guys commented on the other Easter egg from campaign 2. Christina P says, and sprinkle. LOL. And or Rosenthal says there was a sprinkle puppet on the
Oh yeah, that's right. And I saw that.
The Crimson Weasel.
Yeah, the Crimson
Weasel.
Wow.
Ryan says sprinkle was also in a shop shelf, and Steven says there was also a very interesting taxidermy reference to C2 on the shelf at Gilmore. And honestly, like, didn't see it in the first initial watch through, but definitely caught it in the editing, and I was like, sprinkle?
Honestly, yeah. It wasn't until I went back through the our reaction, that I was like, hey, that's Sprinkle.
Yes.
And I was like, oh, I wish I would have noticed it when we were filming the reaction.
Oh my God. I think people are saying 6. I think that's Grog's intelligence.
His intelligence is 6? That would make more sense. That would make more sense now that you say, that you mention it.
I love this.
Because that means, yeah, he would have a -2 to his intelligence roll.
Oh no, where is the hello?
It's down at the very, very bottom.
Okay.
All the way down.
Okay. So then before we get to that, because I'm not going to lose it yet.
And I also remember there's a moment in the campaign where Grog actually gets, oh no, that's what it is. He gets
a -2 modifier.
He gets polymorphed into an eagle, and his intelligence actually goes up. And I'm like, yes. And the fact that that Travis plays D&D that so off. Much. There's so much crazy stuff in D&D, and I love the fact that I'm hoping against hope that this will solidify D&D as an entertainment storytelling device for shows and for movies, and they'll just be like, you know what? Let's just take this world. Yeah. And try to make a story with it.
I know they're making an animated, a live action Dungeons and Dragons movie. Like, I'm hoping that
with Chris Pine.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So I'm hoping they're like taking notes, like, so this is how it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, just do all the research. And I want to see a good Dungeons and Dragons movie. Ricardo Ramos, thank you so much for this comment, because I wanted to bring this up from the beginning. Grog, I would like to rage was the best moment of episode 2 for my that end and the Creek Dragon boss fight. RPG style. So let's talk about that fight. Once Krieg has revealed himself as to be
Brimscythe.
Brimscythe.
I'm probably also pronouncing it a little bit wrong. But Brimscythe.
I
think that's
the Iron Heart Dragon or something like that. Iron Dragon.
The Iron Storm
Dragon. Which is like, dude, the animation obviously top notch. Like Titmouse did such a fantastic job with the animation, but I would like to talk about the battle sequence, because, and again, you don't need to, like, for anybody who wants to get into the series but you haven't sat down and watched the campaigns, you don't play D&D, who cares? Come in and watch it, because that is not a prerequisite for you to understand and enjoy the show.
Yes,
it is not. Is it a more richer experience if you know? Yes, but they made it so open, and just, it's a fantasy, adventure animation that has adult languages and themes. So like Invincible, in that sense, like made them off for mature. But
very much.
When you know that it is, kind of adapted from their D&D campaign, and you watch this battle sequence get drawn into animation, you can kind of look who's going to go first. So you kind of immediately in your head as a player or a DM, for those of you out there, you think about initiative order, who rolled what, and if this magic failed, did they roll this or did they roll that to hit? And when the dragon was completely bloodied, and who takes the fight? Like, I really thought they really did a very clear distinction on, you go, then it's a very turn-based, but normally at a campaign you sit there.
Yeah,
even it takes a while because the DM's asking, like, what do you want to do, and then you have your reaction, your bonus action, blah, blah, blah.
And there's always that moment when a fight first starts, that especially if you are caught off guard and everyone's like, roll, and the DM's like, roll for initiative. Everyone goes, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And they showed that moment insanely well, of everyone going, ah, dragon, run around. And they're like running around and they're screaming and they're What was it? Actually, if you try to
nitpick the rules of that fight, there's a couple of blown rules. Embrace the adaptation. No need to know the game.
Yeah, exactly. But it took them a moment to run around, scream, find out what doesn't happen. Some attacks that you're like, oh crap, that doesn't work. Oh guys, he has resistance. You have to hit him with something that has magic on it.
Yeah, and it's just the way they say it. And it's so subtle. It's not like, no, it's on the nose. Like, if you know, you know. And if you don't know, it just makes it. I really love the way that they took care, the writers, the producers, everybody involved. They took care to make sure that it is just a very entertaining show to watch overall. And that's what we enjoyed about, the first 2 episodes. And let's go ahead and move on to episode 3, because we get introduced to, I would call them like the star of the arc, because it is the Briarwood arc. So we get to meet Delilah and Silas Brimstone at the end of episode 2, and then we get full on a battle into battle with them in episode 3. And we also got to see, where Vox Machina, what their house, you got to see them for like a second. I'm sure we'll spend way more time in that house.
And I'm a little bummed that they can't call it Grayskull Keep, because unfortunately Grayskull is a little copywritten.
They'll call it something else.
Yeah.
It's just the same way where Scanlan can't say Bigsby's hand, because that's a Wizard of the Coast specific
copyright.
So they changed it to Scanlan's hand, which still makes sense to me.
What other things they have to tweak just a little bit, because they would have to pay extra for that copyright. And right now they're just kind of like, okay, we want all of this money to go towards story and animation. Anything else, I mean, that's what we really want to focus on. So yeah, I mean, changing it to Scanlan's hand, I think is hilarious. And he pulled it off when he sang it out loud. I was like, Scanlan's hand.
Can they even say cleric? Asks Ice Pepper Aja. I am not sure.
Well, no,
because a cleric is also a class in Pathfinder as well.
Yes.
So I don't know if that is a
cleric is also something in real life as well.
So I don't know if they can do that specifically, but the minor changes are minor, and they can make it fit still within the fantasy world that we know. And I don't think it's not going to affect the story at all.
Yeah.
At all. But they got to do what they can.
And that's also another thing. I don't even know if they could, like, say, for example, when they were fighting Brimscythe, if they could say, holy shit, this is an ancient dragon kind of a thing. Because that's
not an ancient dragon, though.
I think he is. Brimscythe is supposed to be an ancient dragon. Well, actually, that is a good point. I'm not 100% sure if Brimscythe was supposed to be an ancient dragon. Because I know all of the others in the Chroma Conclave were. So, but I guess we'll find out. And I think they might they might just nix that title altogether, because that does connect to D&D kind of a thing.
I guess so.
So I just want to see more and more. I'm curious about what other little adaptations they're going to make in the story, and whether or not, because I don't know if at the end of this season, well, I'm assuming that this season is going to end with the battle between.
It's not spoiler for me, right?
No.
What you're about to say. Okay.
You know what? Honestly, I'll keep it. If it's going to end,
I want to be surprised.
At the end of where the Briarwood story arc ended, with in campaign 1.
Okay.
So I'm curious because there's still a lot of other stuff when they start going after some of the other people that are connected to Percy's past, especially the one that he has competition with gun making. That's a huge story. That's a story arc that goes out for a while. And I'm wondering if they're going to immediately start the Chroma Conclave in season 2, or if they're going to kind of give us a little bit more so we can get a season 3, a season 4, maybe even a season 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. Because there's definitely enough material to do that.
I want this to be so successful that we get to see then the Legend of the Mighty Nine. I am going to lose my mind if they get to make that announcement. Like, that would be so fantastic. And I know it's like, it's definitely wishful thinking, because we're just starting now. We finally have gotten the Legend of Vox Machina. I know it was a long road, a lot of hard work, a lot of people involved, but I want the series to do so well that they have no choice but to do, because it's so popular and in high demand, that they will do, an animated show for the Mighty Nine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is it? Someone in the chat just scrolled past. Oh, okay, yeah. Mr. Finch, M. Finch.
M. Finch.
Put season 2 Conclave, season 3
Vecna.
Vecna. Honestly,
Thank you for the non-spoiler,
think
because that doesn't give me any
you
sort of
could
details.
have the Conclave start in the middle of season 2, and then have it go for season 3 and end on season 4. There's enough material in there to go a longer span, and it took them a lot of time.
Yes,
because they had to, not to be too spoilery, they had to get some things before they went up, before they collected some things. So I think you can even make season 4 Vecna, and there's even, I mean, honestly, one thing I would. You can, honestly, there's enough material to make more and more, because there's also Taryon Darrington that I would love to see at least in 1 or 2 episodes. If they did just a little bit of Taryon Darrington in a few, because that moment knocked me off my chair. I was like, what? And the whole reason why Darien came around and how they switched it out. For those of you who know, you know.
And also
was an amazing
in campaign 2.
Yeah, and it's mentioned in campaign 2. The daring tales of the daring adventures of Darien. Oh, I can't even remember the insanely long title of that book.
It's like
but I would love to
name.
see a little bit of that. And the Darien Brigade, I think, would be really fun.
Yeah. So there's lots of really awesome, things to come, I think, in this series. And I can't wait to see where they go. Like, when we're going to get season 2, we know it's greenlit, like once we get more confirmation. So on this channel, once we hear more about like confirmed news, we'll definitely be talking about it in various live streams. But for now, every Saturday we'll dedicate it to a little spoiler talk for the Vox Machina, the Legend of Vox Machina, and of course spoiler talk for the Book of Boba Fett. And I feel like we've been live for about 47 minutes. So
because we're also supposed to talk spoilers.
We're supposed to also talk spoilers about the Book of Boba Fett. So if you guys want to stick around, if you've watched the Book of Boba Fett as well, episode 5, we're going to go ahead and switch gears and talk about, so we're jumping from one fantastical realm into the other galaxy far away. But I mean, I honestly could talk about Vox Machina all day.
I really could.
I really could.
I am that excited for this show and the future of Vox Machina. So we could go on forever about this.
Daring Adventures of Taryon Darrington. Dodie, write that down.
Dodie. I loved Dodie.
Yeah.
I thought Dodie was so cute.
Yes. All right, so let's go ahead and let me just change the banner on this. And of course, before you guys go, if you're getting out of here because we're done talking about Vox Machina for now, make sure you hit that thumbs up button and make sure you're subscribing so you can come back next Saturday when we talk more Vox Machina and the Book of Boba Fett. And with that, let's go ahead and switch gears to the Book of Boba Fett, because this week's episode, I gotta say, it's probably up there with my top faves of all the episodes aired so far for the Book of Boba Fett. So I would say like top choices right now, personal favorites are episode 5 and episode 2. Really, really love those. But this one was really all about one Din Djarin.
I do have to admit, I am a little bummed that one of the best episodes of the Book of Boba Fett did not have Boba Fett in it at all.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like, I feel bad for liking this episode the most out of all of them, because it's not a Boba Fett episode.
However, I think this is going to be this entire episode is set up for what is to come for the next 2 episodes. And my hope is that the next 2 really blow us out of the water, because we know they're prepping to go to war with the Pikes, and they've been looking for muscle. And it was heavily hinted in episode 4 that the muscle they're looking for would be one specific Mandalorian. And what I liked about this episode, other than the epicness of like the stunts, the story, and getting to see Din Djarin again, and the little hints at he may be going to visit little Grogu,
I hope so,
is that we got even more lore of the Darksaber and more lore about the Mandalorian themselves, and seeing Din Djarin wield the Darksaber and why he was having some issues wielding it, and to see what it's like for a non-Force user wielding a Darksaber, because you're watching Moff Gideon wield it last time. He does it with such ease, but he's trained in the ways. So
well, and here's also another thing. I was actually reading into some of the history of the Darksaber, and unlike normal kyber crystals, where the energy just comes from the kyber crystals, what actually happens with the Darksaber is that it does create a current with your emotions. So you have to be in tune with your emotions. You have to be at peace. You have to be focused. Because even Sabine was not focused. She was when she was training with it in Rebels, she was going, this is heavy. And it was because at that time she was not able to focus and concentrate her energy. So instead of a separate lightsaber that is able to kind of just wield its own power, it actually has an energy force that goes through you, and it is part of you that is wielding the power. So if you are not at peace, like Din Djarin was very focused on Grogu, he was very disturbed at that point about his mind was very on Grogu. He was very depressed about it. So it would make sense that he could not wield the Darksaber. But also the guy that fought against him, Vizsla, I can't remember his name.
Vizsla?
Vizsla. He was having a hard time wielding the Darksaber because he had so much anger and frustration over the fact that this other person who is not in the bloodline of the Vizslas was wielding the Darksaber. The fact that it so when he even picked it up, he was having a hard time with it. So you have to be at peace. You have to be focused while using it. And I was like, that is such an interesting deep dive to do into that wielding of the Darksaber.
Debbie writes, this episode was basically the bridge to bring us back to the present day. And also to kind of give us an update of like, where's he been? So then when we get into season 3 of The Mandalorian, they don't need to do that, and waste an episode on that. So let's put it in here. It's going to help supplement the next 2 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett as we get closer to the finale.
And that was also something, with this being a bridge. Yeah, it really did feel more like Mandalorian 2.5. But we also found out, because at the end of season 2, we didn't know exactly what Din did with the Darksaber.
Because he was so ready to give it to Bo-Katan.
Yeah. So there's a few things that we do know. 1, Bo-Katan refused it. 2, she did not challenge him to take the Darksaber, kind of a thing. So it wasn't like, honestly, Bo could have started fighting. We thought that was going to be possible. Yeah. That Bo was going to now, well, we've taken everything. We're at a spot to where I could just fight you and take it, kind of a thing. So we know that did not happen.
Right. So it's nice to see kind of where it is now, whose hand it is in, and where Din is at the moment. Hello, thank you so much for your super chat. Who writes, the armor teaching him how to wield and fight with it was a parallel to when Kanan taught Sabine about how to use it. Absolutely agree with that. Yes. And it was cool to see. And I want to also highlight this next comment from Debbie, following kind of like a good follow-up to what is saying here. Debbie says, but my question is, how does the armorer know how to use it?
The armorer seems to be
I can't wait for the mask reveal if we ever get that, because as Mandalorians, we don't technically, as this is the way to not remove the helmet.
Yeah.
So
that was even a big thing that they that's why Din got kicked out of, you're no longer a Mandalorian. So
their little group of 3 went down to 2.
Sorry, you're slowly whittling down your numbers.
Yeah, so it's really interesting. I do like how mysterious the armor is. Like, I find her character fascinating. Where's she getting all this knowledge from? Who is she really? And because the helmet, people say with the spikes coming out, that she was a follower of Maul.
Yes.
Some people said as well. And because if you watch the Siege of Mandalore, I think didn't some follow Maul, some.
Yeah, there were still some Mandalorians that followed Maul even after Maul fell. So Maul got arrested by Ahsoka.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see what that faction of Mandalorians did, because there actually seems to be many different factions of Mandalorian.
Yes.
And I'm very curious to see exactly if they're going to dive into that more and more and more. And I'm curious because one of the things that the armorer said to Din was the fact that the only way to reclaim your Mandalorianness, I can't remember exactly how she phrased it, was the tunnels underneath Mandalore. But all of those were destroyed. So I'm hoping that in season 3 of The Mandalorian, we actually go to Mandalore and see the complete ruins
Sorry,
of
I'm
that
making
planet.
you out of focus.
Because, oh, it's okay. Because Mandalore has been destroyed many times. Well, not many times. This is not the first time that Mandalore has been completely wiped off the map, so to speak. Because it happened before, and that's why they were all in those desert, what is it, in the desert kind of a thing.
Yeah.
But then the Empire came in and just did it all again.
Yes. Donald says this episode was wizard. I love that. That's how he when Din Djarin came back from flying, taking first flight in a starfighter, was like, so how was it? Wizard. I was like, I need shirts that now say wizard, because it has a different meaning to me now.
Actually, that is something that I did want to talk about too. Shiny was, what is it called? Din's new ship. A part of me is a little bummed that he doesn't have a bigger ship. I really wanted him to be able to have something that he could transport, bounties in. There's not much room in that little ship, but it is definitely fast. And I love how they were talking about that it's, there's a lot of handmade pieces, that it is very personalized. Customized. Yeah. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you.
It was like Fast and Furious, but in space. Let's go.
And I just like that he pushed the button.
It's so good. It's like, oh, whiplash. Steven Taylor says the fact that they're giving him a starfighter makes me think his bounty days are done. It's impractical for that, but a commander of a force taking Mandalore would need their personal starfighter.
That is very true. Giving us maybe a little foreshadowing into what's going to happen in season 3 of The Mandalorian. Do we know exactly when season 3 of The Mandalorian comes out? Because honestly, this episode really, really just made me want season 3 of The Mandalorian even more.
Yeah, I know. What I'm looking forward to for the next 2 episodes, obviously, Fennec Shand paid him a little visit and saying, look, we could really use your help. And I also like that, when he was fixing up the ship with Peli, we now know that she speaks Jawan.
That was so funny.
She dated one. I was so unexpected. And I was like, how do you not love her even more than you already did? So it's always a treat to see Amy Sedaris pop up in an episode. But, when Fennec showed, and before Fennec showed up, I like that they kind of threw in the Pikes in there for a little bit, just in a casual conversation, just to have it in there. But when Fennec showed up, she was like, we're looking for muscle. He looked at the money back and he threw it back and he said, it's for Boba Fett. It's on the house. And I love that because they obviously formed a bond already from the previous episode. But before, he just didn't walk off with Fennec and say, hey, I'll be back for the ship. Like, let's go pay Boba's palace a visit. He said, I got to go and visit a little friend. Was it an old friend or a little friend?
I think he said little friend, because old friend, I think, would have rung a little bit more in my head about, making a Yoda reference there.
Yeah. So I'm curious, are they going to use the time in between the episodes? So like while they're like off air, quote unquote, he'll make a quick visit to see Grogu, and then come back it's just so interesting to me, because like, not that I mind seeing Grogu at all. I think Grogu is adorable. But I really want to see how this fight and the prep going down between, Boba Fett's team and the Pikes. Like, I really want to see that, because this entire season's been slowly building up to it. And now we're winding down to the final episode. So I don't know if we have, unless they want to make it like an hour and a half episode, which I wouldn't mind, to give the time for Din Djarin to travel to go see Grogu, if that is indeed who he's going to see, and then come back and then join the rest of the team to prep for the war with the Pikes.
Yeah. And I'm also just really curious on how they're going to handle that timeline, because I don't want them to do too much of Din Djarin's story in the Book of Boba Fett.
Yeah. One episode is fine.
Yeah, one episode is good, and then have him be in the fight kind of a thing. So we can maybe see there's a moment in The Mandalorian to where you see that interaction with Grogu, and then he's like, "Oh, I've got to go and help Boba Fett," and the next episode he's back,
Yeah.
kind of a thing, and he's all beat up.
So we'll see how that plays out. I'm just so curious because there are some talks within the comments section of not of this video, but of just other reaction videos or other breakdowns, and people in the comments are speculating this is, and I don't think that they would do this, but people are saying that, oh, the war with the Pikes isn't going to get played out until the next season or the next book of Boba Fett, and I just don't see it.
I don't think so. I don't know.
I think people would be kind of frustrated with
I think people would be really pissed
because it's kind of like, great, you're giving us Boba Fett. You hinted at the Pikes. They've landed on Tatooine. This is just the first wave. It seems very ominous. And then to not get that at all at the season finale, like, I just don't see that happening. So I don't think that's the way they're gonna go. But but now that the seed's been planted in my head, so I'm trying to like ready my body to be like, okay, in case this happens, don't get too upset.
Well, I've heard, I'm not 100% sure this is true, that the Book of Boba Fett is going to be a one-off. That it's that they're not going to do a season 2.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. That could just be hearsay. We don't know until Disney comes out and says it. We do have 2 super chats.
I didn't see. I'm so sorry, I didn't see them. Oh no.
So
the first one, this one. There's one before that.
Yeah, it was.
I'm so sorry, guys. Hello, what?
No, after Hello What's.
Okay.
Because we did Hello What's.
Hello
right?
What had to leave. Thank you for stopping by.
Thanks,
he had
Hello
to leave for work. Thank you for stopping by. This one.
Yes.
Okay, Junior Grievous, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your super chat.
Right. It was it was also a shout out to the original lore of a lightsaber being difficult for non-Force users since the Jedi trained for years to master the saber.
That makes a lot of sense too. And honestly, I think that's actually a really good thing to put in there. That because that hasn't really been stated in any of the canon, I think. That a lightsaber for a non-Force wielder is difficult to use. It's actually either heavy or unwieldy. You
can't just pick it up and be like, I have you now.
I mean, you could pick it up and just kind of like, but to actually have like skill. Heavy. And it'd be very hilt heavy. And because the blade has no weight to it whatsoever, you would need a lot of training with it. I like that comment. That's actually a really good comment.
Yeah.
And also, General Grievous does have another super chat after that. And then after that, we've got one from Amr.
Sorry, this is funny. Caught my eye.
What?
Were the followers of Maul called Mallrats?
I think that would be really funny if they just kind of got that name. That's kind of funny. A thing.
Let me see. This one?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you so much, General Grievous, for your 2 super chats. Who writes, the Armorer told of a prophecy, the mythosaur rising to lead Mandalore. It was referenced to Boba Fett in the EU and maybe his destiny since that's his crest.
Oh, that would actually, you know what? That would actually be a very interesting story for them to set up for season 3 of The Mandalorian, is the fact that Din goes back to kind of go back to the mines, and that's where he finds a sleeping mythosaur. I think that would be really cool.
What the heck?
And then we get to see a giant mythosaur.
What? Can you imagine in the finale? In the post-credit scene?
Oh, yeah.
They can do the Jurassic Park thing, like blue milk just ripples out.
The blue milk.
And you pan, and it's a mythosaur.
Oh, I like that idea.
That'd be pretty cool.
That is really cool.
Tishka is here, who writes the Dank and Furious, Ferris, because they say Dank Ferric.
Dank Ferric, the Dank and Ferric.
Good to see you here.
Good to see you, man. Thank you for joining this stream.
This stream.
My brain. But we also have a super chat from Amr Nail.
Oh my gosh, you guys! Thank you so much. All right, this is going to go towards an obvious no. I think there's a couple of new updates I would like to make with our equipment.
Yes.
So I think we're gonna take a look at what's in our current super chat fund, because as we said, we always put that aside and make some other upgrades. Some upgrades. Hold on, let me just get this one not troll comment, but bad link out of here. Here we go. Amr Nail, let's get to your super chat. Who writes, I didn't know the Darksaber gets heavier the more you swing it. Mando could barely hold it up. Then how did Maul, Rebels, wield it better? Maul's trained in the ways of the Force, even though he's dark side. So I think that's kind of the, if I'm understanding all the lore correctly, is that you can wield it. It's just going to be hard for you if you're not tuned with the Force, if you don't understand the Force and let it course through your body.
And if they were saying something also, you had to be, if you're not a Force wielder, you do have to be in incredible control of your emotions. And both Din Djarin, Sabine, and the other Vizsla were all kind of emotionally all over the place.
He was a Jedi, but the guy who forged it, no?
Yes. Yeah. But he was, but no. I'm saying the descendant of the House of Vizsla that fought Din Djarin for the Darksaber.
Oh, Paz Vizsla.
But also, what's really interesting is that there was a non-Force wielder that did a really good job wielding the Darksaber, and that was the one that Darth Maul took the Darksaber from. And he was also a Vizsla. I can't remember his first name. If you guys remember it, please throw it in the chat.
Yes, please.
But I also think not Dave Filoni, but Jon Favreau voiced that Vizsla as well.
I'm not surprised.
Which is hilarious. That it's just anytime you have a Vizsla in either animated or any kind of Star Wars show, you just get Jon Favreau to do the voice.
We're going to the comments really quick to kind of break out of this Boba Fett talk for 2 seconds. To both, let's see, to Adaligal and to, there was another person who I just saw their comment. I will. Yes, unfortunately, we already did the Vox Machina chat towards the beginning. We kind of dedicated the first 47 minutes to Vox Machina. We were going to do half hour, and it just got away from us.
Carried away.
Because it was so fun to talk about Vox Machina. But don't you worry, we're going to be doing every Saturday, we're going to dedicate to both Boba Fett and Vox Machina talk for as long as the series are running. So I'm sorry that you missed it, but we will be back next week, and we'll talk episodes 6, 7, and 8 of Vox Machina, and then episode 6 of Book of Boba Fett.
Yes.
Sorry, 6, not 7. That's the finale.
And Ricardo Ramos, thank you so much for also bringing that up, is the fact that his name, that it's, a couple of you also mentioned this in the chat, Pre-Vizsla. And I also like the fact that you mentioned, he also fought Kenobi with the Darksaber. So he was very, very well trained in using the Darksaber. Even though he's not a Force user, one of the big things about Mandalorians is that they are trained in taking on Force-sensitive opponents. That's why Pre-Vizsla was able to hold his own with Kenobi and put up a really good fight with Maul.
Yeah.
And if you guys haven't seen those episodes of the Clone Wars, they are really good. They are amazing episodes. Pre-Vizsla is a really good villain.
Yes. But yeah, there's a lot of things that I am hoping to see in the next 2 episodes of the Book of Boba Fett. And we all know episode 6 is directed by Filoni. So there is potential major cameos coming up. You know, no promises, obviously, just because Filoni is directing said episode doesn't mean he needs to bring in some of these characters we'd love to see.
Yeah.
Because, you know, you got to serve the story. But if the specific cameos can supplement the story, then by all means, bring them in. Like, it's possible Bo-Katan could come back and do this. It's possible. I don't think we're seeing Ahsoka. I really, really don't. And I know that she is one of Filoni's favorite characters. And I know she's got her own show coming up, but it doesn't make sense for her to come in. But if she comes, obviously it's one of my favorite characters from Star Wars, so I will welcome it with open hands. But I'm thinking if we get cameos, it'd be Bo-Katan and maybe fingers crossed, for Cad Bane.
I want to see Cad Bane so bad. I want to see an army of bounty hunters fighting for Boba Fett. I want to see that so bad. There's so many different bounty hunters that I would like to see that were in Clone Wars. I don't think Cad Bane's going to
fight with Boba Fett.
He's going to fight against Boba Fett.
Yeah, he's going to be with the Pikes.
He's always a bad guy. And yeah, Cad Bane would always go to wherever the most money is. However, I do like the comments that Ring King mentioned, I think Black Chrysanthemum will appear in Kenobi
because of their connection.
Kenobi is the one who gave him that scar.
And he doesn't have it yet in this one, right?
No, he does have it.
Oh.
And Kenobi does take place before this. So we would see a younger Black Chrysanthemum.
Holy crap. Wow, so cool.
I would love to see that too.
So cool.
But we also do have another super chat from General Grievous. Thank you so much. Thank you for bringing that up as well. That is absolutely right. Vizsla also fought Ahsoka.
Dang.
It's, you know what? It's just all of this talk too makes me want to go back and rewatch.
We have a Streamlabs. So let me go ahead and, while you talk. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Makes me want to go back and watch the Clone Wars again. There's so many. I mean, there's 8 seasons of Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I would love to watch all of that again. I would love to watch Rebels again. It makes you, because there's so much material to go back, and now they're going back through all of that and being like, hey, you know what, let's extend this storyline, extend this thread here, do a little bit more of this. And they're just doing, I think they're doing a good job on expanding the universe more and more.
Yeah.
For what is it called, for like Clone Wars and Rebels, and bringing in a lot of the fan favorites, kind of like how they did with Bo-Katan, what they're going to be doing with Ahsoka and Sabine, and Throng. I want to see Throng so bad in a live action.
Yes.
Sorry,
I'm trying to sign in. You continue.
No, that's okay. In a live action, I want to see him in live action.
Yeah.
Because, and I'm so excited that he's going to be in Ahsoka, because that whole, if they can kind of do a retelling of the Heir to the Empire storyline, I would love to see that. I still have to watch the Heir to the Empire animated thing that was sent to me when I was doing a live stream, because I'm a little torn, because I want to do a what is that called, a watch along?
Yeah,
I've never done one before.
Me neither.
So I don't know how it works. And I don't want, I'm always like, oh, do I do this? I don't know if I do this right. I don't know exactly what I'm doing. So I'm tentative about doing that, but that is something I do want to hop into and watch. So
I'm trying to remember my password, y'all. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I changed my password on the regular. So oftentimes I have to update, and then I don't remember what I set, because it's just a bunch of random letters and symbols and whatever the heck. So I gotta find it and type that in. But if you want to address any other comments, feel free to do so.
We do actually have a super chat from Marvin Martin. Is it okay if I quickly just bring up the super chat real quick onto the screen?
Let me do that for you.
And Marvin Martin has in here, what do you think lies beyond Star Wars Outer Rim? And that is actually really cool, because honestly, we can explore that as much as we want. They can do that, is so open for interpretation, because one of the big things is the fact that they say, well, the First Order, or the remnants of the Empire, went out and hid beyond the Outer Rim, and that's where they built up their army, and that's when then they slowly came back in through the Outer Rim. So we could see them really starting to explore that more as they build up the origins of the First Order.
Yes.
And also, we do know that technically Palpatine's around somewhere. He is somehow influencing some of the activity that is going on with the First Order and the remnants of the Empire. Does Throng actually know what is going on with Sidious, or is he kind of out on his own? I think they'll really explore more of that too in the Ahsoka series, because that's where Throng and Ezra kind of got teleported to. They got assuming that's probably where they went, is they got teleported beyond the Outer Rim. So whatever is going on with all of that, I'm assuming that sooner or later we're going to get to explore, and I'm excited to see it.
Yes. Sorry, it's taking me a while. You guys keep talking with Dustin. Okay,
so let me see. I'm gonna skim through some of the chats here. Donald Dankis, thoughts on the Crimson Dawn being behind the Pikes. I'm not sure if the Crimson Dawn is going to be behind the Pikes, or if they're just going to be working with, or if we're going to see Crimson Dawn, or they're just going to be like the mysterious puppet master in the background. But honestly, I'm hoping that that's what they start to do, is they explore more and more of all of the criminal the underbelly of the criminal underworld. That's what I'm thinking. That they explore more and more of the criminal underworld in either the book of Boba Fett, and if I don't think they will, but I think if they did a season 2 of the book of Boba Fett, they're just going to explore more and more of the criminal underbelly.
Yeah, absolutely. I finally got into it because I have like 2-step verification here, 2-step verification there. Everything I have 2-step verification, or you have to do like the actual, what is it called? Like the apps that like authenticate, and then I have like a couple of those, so it's like I don't remember which.
You're like, which one? Which one?
It takes a second, but security is important. All right, this one's from Tushka. Thank you so much for your Streamlabs.
Thank you.
Though there are parts of this show that aren't my favorite, I dig this series and any Star Wars we get. Absolutely. As a Native American, the Tuscan Raiders is a great part of the greatest part of the show
so far, yeah.
And I need more of their lore and backstory. Love these reviews. Thank you so much for sending that in, and I absolutely agree with that, and that's why episode 2 was such a standout.
Yes,
for so many people, it was so good. Like, who knew we needed, or even we didn't? I did not know that I needed and wanted more Tuscan Raider lore.
Yeah,
and then now that I have it, I need more of it. I was like, just like, how dare they do this to us, make us care. We grew and we got emotionally attached with the Tuscan Raiders, and then the next episode, like, sorry, they're
very quickly. However, though, we did not see the body of the one
the Battle Master.
The Battle Master. Yeah. I don't know exactly if they gave that individual a name, but
the credit was I'm trying to remember what she was credited for as. I want to say Battle Master, but I feel like that term is stuck in my brain.
I kind of like that reason. Title. We're just going to call her that.
The champion of the tribe, essentially.
And I'm hoping that the time
Tuscan Warrior.
Thank you. I'm hoping that they do bring her back. That they do bring. That they do expand upon their characters. That somehow. Boba Fett does have some connection back to a growing connection with the Tuscans.
Yes.
Whether it be with another tribe that the Tuscan warrior connected with and brings Boba Fett into, like, hey, I know this guy who can help us, kind of a thing, who can get us more tech, can get us more more weapons, kind of a thing. And I would love to see them expand more on actually making, like, instead of the Tuscans be like just a nomad tribe, that they actually start bringing the Tuscans together and actually build like a Tuscan nation on Tatooine. I think that would be really cool. Yeah. And they've also mentioned many times that, Tatooine used to be covered in water. Maybe they find a way to kind of bring water back to some of the deserts. Yeah, to the Dune Sea.
Gosh, there's just so much lore that we get in these little Disney Plus series. I am very much hoping that they continue. And I know we're getting a ton of shows. The Ahsoka show is coming. The Kenobi show is coming. Mandalorian season 3. What else? We got Acolyte. Like,
Acolyte
that's going to be a super fun one. And then the one that they originally
Rogue Squadron?
Yeah. No, that's the movie.
Oh.
It was the one that they were going to do, but then they kind of like couched it for now. They shelved it for now. I don't think it's completely canceled. But there's a lot. And I'm going to get this, guys. Don't click on the questionable links. Get them out of here and block them, all that stuff. Oh, MK, thank you. Everyone forgets about Andor. Sorry. Oh, yeah, sorry, Cassian. I really like your character, and I'm very excited for your show.
We promise.
Sorry. Rangers of the Republic. Thank you, Debbie.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Debbie, MK, and Blade always coming in clutch with the freaking facts, like fast.
And I do like that in this last episode, we did see Appa again.
Appa! Okay, see you. That's what he says. All right, you guys. Well, we're gonna go ahead. It's almost 4:00. We do have a TRPG game that we are streaming later tonight. So the call-in is at 5. So we got about an hour to walk Navi, make some food and snacks for ourselves, and get ready. If you guys are curious about what it is, let me go ahead and bring up the. It's gonna be on Twitch. It's not gonna be on YouTube.
It is on the DAT network,
There
or
we go.
Dragons and Things on
DAT
Twitch.
stands for Dragons and Things, and it's just one of the many campaigns that they have on their channel, and it's various nights, but it's always going to be at the start time for each show is 6 p.m. PT right here. This is the address, twitch.tv/the DAT network. The show that Dustin and I are both in tonight is called Kings of Dirt, and it's not D&D 5e, and it is not Pathfinder 1 or 2. It is based on a 2D20 system. It's a little, I think they borrowed some elements from Savage World as well. It's let's see. It's set in a post-apocalyptic world.
Very Mad Max.
It's very Mad Max. It's a great fun. It's kind of chaotic. And so if you're into a little chaos, a little dice rolling, a little RP, come by and check it out. We go live tonight at 6 p.m. PT at the address below. Anything else you want to add about that?
No, and also starting, is it this Sunday that we're doing the
No, next week.
Next week.
So not tomorrow, but the following Sunday.
Yes, a week from tomorrow, we will be back with the Voyage of the Siren Song on the DAT network. Wendy and I are playing pirates. Come and join us.
Yes.
And hopefully this Sunday, I am planning this Sunday, probably around 3 o'clock, to be streaming on Twitch as well.
Yes.
And Wendy's also been streaming some
Pokemon Arceus.
So if you want to see what the new Pokemon Arceus is like, watch Wendy when she is streaming.
I think I might, if I can clean the apartment in time and get some editing done, I will probably stream it sometime tomorrow. But first things first, I got some editing to get done. I want to clean the apartment. And then I have to also focus because there was another TRPG game that I'm involved in that
many
streams on Monday. And this one is D&D 5e, and it's called The Dice is Right. And the DM just pulled a giant reveal to us at the end of episode 1, and now the players are like, well, hold on, what am I supposed to do right now with this? So it's a fantastic cast. If you're into D&D 5e, you want to watch us roll dice and be chaotic and RP through and try to save our butts and not die, come by the DAT network on Monday. All right, guys, that's it for us. Thank you so much for stopping by. For clarification, I know we're at the end, so I might be losing people already at this point. But if you were looking for like the Vox Machina episodic reviews, we're not putting up a separate review for that. It's just going to be the VOD that lives on this specific live stream, which will be a VOD in a few seconds. So it's just the first 47 minutes. So I'll probably go back and add a chapter to that just so you can kind of click to it with ease. But that is that. We will be back on Wednesday for a normal Movie Couple Live where we talk about the latest news, topics, and whatnot. And then the following Saturday, we will be back
with more Vox Machina and Book of Boba Fett.
The Book of Boba Fett. And there was one thing I wanted to say. Oh, thank you so much for everybody who put in the trailers that we possibly could be getting during Super Bowl. I think it was or whatever.
Halo.
So Halo, and potentially maybe somebody said, and this is speculation. They didn't see it anywhere, but maybe we get one of Kenobi as well.
Oh,
so we will.
So
Super
cool.
Bowl is on a Sunday, which means Dustin is at work, so that's not going to be.
Wait, is it this Sunday? No, next Sunday. Yeah,
you work. Shoot. Well, we'll figure it out on our end. All right, guys. We love you so much. We will see you on Wednesday for or in various others videos. Sorry, I'm trying. My brain can't compute when I'm trying to click certain things. I should have Dustin do this part. Click on things while I speak, or vice versa. Yeah,
just like set everything up to go.
All right, y'all. We got to get out of here. We'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys. Bye.